Welcome to StoryTime Globe, where you can listen to stories from around the globe. Today's story comes from Australia, and you can find it in the illustrated book of fairy tales, retold by Neil Phillip, with illustrations from Nellish Mystery. A Magic Whistle. Once in the Australian bush there was a young swagman named Damper. He was called that because he always said that damper bread, cooked in the ashes of an open fire under the stars, was the best food in the world. One night, as he lay on his back, letting his supper go down, the darkness was suddenly lit up by a host of glowworms and fireflies, and Damper saw a troop of little figures, some dressed in black, some in gold, and some in white. He gave himself a punch or two on the head, muttering, "I'm not seeing straight." But when he looked again, the figures were still there. Soon the tiny people began to dance, so fast that it set Damper's senses reeling. But he noticed that two of them, the grandest of all, had fallen out of the dance. He decided that they must be the king and queen of this fairy host, so he tried to hear what they were saying. The fairy king said, "I've hidden the magic whistle where no one can find it, under the roots of an old eucalyptus tree." "Good," replied the queen, "for whoever found that whistle would be able to control any animal, bird, or man. For when it is played, any creature listening to it just has to dance." In the morning, Damper wondered if it had all been a dream. He decided to check under the roots of the old eucalyptus tree. There, sure enough, was a reed whistle about 6 inches long, with a mouthpiece of pure gold. Damper put the whistle in his bluey and went along the road. Soon he saw a cart coming in the other direction. A fat, angry woman was swaying on the cart, scolding a little man walking beside the horse. Damper went up to the woman and asked her for a little food. "Be off with you, you loafing rascal," she said. Damper took out the whistle and began to play a lively jig. The fat woman threw herself from the cart and began to leap and cavort in the road, while the little man laughed fit to burst. After a bit, Damper put down the whistle, and she flopped down in the dust. When he raised the whistle to his lips again, she begged him, "Stop, for mercy's sake! Take all the tucker in the cart." Damper helped himself to a little of their tucker and went on his way singing "Waltzing Matilda" at the top of his voice. But he swallowed his song when a big, bearded bushranger loomed up from nowhere, yelling, "Halt, or I'll fire!" Damper pulled out his whistle and began to play. The bushranger's horse started to galump about the road, with the bushranger hanging on for dear life. "Please, no more," the bushranger begged. "I'll fill your pouch with gold." "Not a bit of it," said Damper. "You'll hand over all of your ill-gotten treasure and your horse as well, or you shall dance again." The bushranger began to curse, so Damper blew a single note on his whistle. "Stop, I agree," the bushranger cried. He handed over his revolver, his money belt, his boots, and his horse, and he ran off. Damper looked in the belt. It was filled with gold. As he mounted the horse, he was the happiest boy in all Australia, and one of the richest too.